Aries, welcome. It's Erin Scott here with the Alchemy of Holism, and we are working with gouache this month. So I'm doing an art channeling, and I have my gouache paints. This is some of them. So I'm going to go ahead and tap in. We're going to see what comes through in regards to picture, form, movement. And what we're talking about is the new moon, the Pisces new moon that we just went through, mid-March to mid-April. So I have my little palette here, and let's just get going and we'll see what comes through for you. Aries. As I've been telling the other signs, they've been coming really beautifully quickly, which is really wonderful. Because they're flowing, you know, there's just a natural flow. A natural flow that is not as easily attained with the charcoal and the graphic pencil and the colored pencil. So let's just take a look here. I do hope you're all doing well through this very powerful, intense time of expedited growth, expedited necessity to heal. This particular Pisces new moon, the sun and moon were conjunct Chiron, which inherently was talking about, was naturally bringing forward healing. So that's at hand. And that particular point where the sun and moon were conjunct Chiron was the same point where Venus and Mercury were conjunct Chiron 2 weeks before. So it was, you know, double duty. It was a secondary message. It was a validation of the message, and all of that has been trine Jupiter and Scorpio. So it's all about truth telling. It's all about going deep. It's all about going deep and getting very, very, very real with ourselves. I mean, okay, so I'm just going to continue to paint, and then we're going to talk about it. I'm certainly going to tell you what I'm getting, but I really want you to pay mind. Give your psyche validation for what's coming through for you, because it's your story. You know, these are general impressions of the message of the general growth at hand for the archetype of Aries. So I'm going to have my own associations with the symbols, but you're going to have yours that are valid for your particular distinct journey, right? So let's take a look at what's happening here. Actually, let's do this. Oh my. All right. Now gouache, what I'm using here, can be very watercolory, very transparent, as you're seeing, and it can also be applied so it's very opaque. Okay. One thing that I've mentioned in the other scopes is the fascination with the color schemes that are coming through for the different signs, because obviously they're different frequency emanations. Colors are frequencies, and the different signs have had different focal points of color. So it's fascinating. It's beautiful. So I wanted to give you a bit of a view today. I think you can see, everything looks fine. It looks like you can see there's backlight with the view, but it looks like you can see the image fine. Aries. Oh God, this is great. Let's start to talk about, I mean, I think that there's going to be more coming through. In fact, there is something right now, but let's start talking about it. Certainly, there's this alien figure here, you know. So there could be some otherworldly ideas coming to you. There could be some literal visitation stuff happening for some of you with your dreamscape. With your meditation practices and portals of meditation. There could be some stuff coming, visitations and ideas, insights, etc. But it's interesting, so let's kind of talk about it. I'm going to stop there, but there might be more coming. We'll see. Okay, so firstly, there's like this alien figure. But it did kind of bring about this lemon scat, this infinity symbol, right? This kind of feedback loop of vibration, energy. And what I'm talking about is this thing here. It kind of came down here and it came up here. So this particular lemon scat, this feedback loop, which is just natural in natural systems, as within, so without, as above, so below, as below, so above. It's microcosm, macrocosm. And what I'm getting is that there's a realization, I think, what I'm getting from this is that there's a realization with the Aries archetype over the course of this particular evolutionary process at hand now, mid-March to mid-April 2018, where there's a getting it. Like you might get that what you hold within is what manifests without. And it could be that, especially, number one, we got the figure 8. Number two, we're getting the alien figure, which is kind of talking about, let's say, another iteration of human or something perhaps more advanced. Although, you know, we could actually have conversation about that. But it may be an advanced mentality, an advanced beingness that you're accessing. In addition, there's this brighter yellow, this lemon yellow that's outside of almost like a helmet, almost like, what would you call it? Yeah, like a helmet, like a space helmet that is holding air in, you know, oxygen. And outside of this is this brighter yellow, this lemon yellow. The color of the yellow is actually lemon yellow. Lemon is a citrus, so it has a kick to it, but it's clean. So there's almost like there's this clean, joyful, optimistic thought that is almost surrounding your bubble. Now, the reason why I think you're imbibing it is because of the mouth through the throat into the belly is also that lemon yellow. So it's almost like by osmosis, Aries, you're gathering, let's say, information from the consciousness field, and you're imbibing it. You're taking it into your belly, which is your third chakra, which is associated with yellow. So there is this kind of, again, and I'm getting a lot of yellow emanation, like the juice within, our personality and our will of our identified self is coming up and out through many of the signs this month, okay? Many. For you, though, you literally have it within, and you have it kind of accessing or trying to penetrate outside of you. Now, the interesting thing is you are protected by this air bubble, which does tell me that perhaps you are almost not quite fully letting it in. You know, it's not like it's penetrating through here, you know. So there's something about you protecting your mind or protecting your head, protecting your thoughts, protecting your belief system. So you're taking some of it in. Let me think about this for a minute. Aries, what I get is that for some of you over the course of this cycle, you're needing to get it in your mind. You're needing to have an understanding of actually as within, so without. But you are also getting indications of that's the case. But it's almost like for this cycle, for this particular month, the process is not fully assimilated yet. You're still getting it. It's almost like you see the benefit outside of you, almost like you're looking at your power as if it is God, as if it is something else, your guides, your angels. But the truth is that you are that. You are Source. We are all Source. We're all emanations of Source, including angels, including entities, all entities, including the alien. So you are as powerful as any other entity. Do you know that yet? You might feel your power, but do you know it yet? It might be that over the course of the cycle, Aries, you're assimilating, or life is asking you to bring it down. Understand it. As within, so without. You are the alien this month, you know, but do you get it? Do you really get it? Or are you still looking outside of yourself to validate power? You are power. You are as powerful as anything else. Any entity other than you, you are that. So there's some learning here for you about that, okay? Now, the interesting thing, the beautiful thing is the hand. It's almost like octopus-like in a way too. But this hand that's coming up, it has magic starting to emulate. Now, this didn't come up as like a spiral, although it almost looks like a spiral from the side. But this particular, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, there's these 4 levels, 4 layers of deliciousness, magic, alchemy starting to come out through you. You know, some joyful, creative, willful emanation is coming out, and the beginnings of 3 other things are coming out too. So it's almost like something comes to fruition or comes to, let's say, some culmination for you over the course of the cycle. Maybe something that you've been thinking about, dreaming about, desiring in your belly to come up and out. Something might come to fruition this month, and there's the seeds of 3 other goodies that you are manifesting. Keep in mind, this is coming from your hand. This is very unlike, I have to say, it's completely unlike so far the other channelings that I've done. For you, you're manifesting things with your hands. Now, this could very well be you're an artist and you're creating sculpture or designs, clothing designs, or something with your hands. It could very well be that. But if it's not that, this is just representing creative project, creative ideas that are coming into form via your hand or via your entity. But something big, let's say, you're going to see some manifestation of something big, something magical, you know. Now, in the background, there is this kind of horizon line of green, which could represent, you know, new growth, and a horizon line of springtime. So it could replicate for you an idea of there's forward movement, there's longer days, there's greener grass, you know, the snow is melting, etc. So there might be some hopeful, optimistic view, but the interesting thing about this particular horizon, do you notice that there's a horizon line, but then it stops here? So it's not like the horizon comes all the way down to the bottom of the page. So it's not that you're standing on grass. That's what I want to say. It's almost like a part of you sees the vision of growth. A part of you sees the hope and the optimism and the springtime, the forward movement. Part of you is focused on that. But another part, almost the base of you, might feel ungrounded. That's what I'm getting. And by the way, not unusual to feel ungrounded now. It's a it's hard to find our footing. As I've said in some of the other scopes, when we seek terra firma now, there is none. So you might feel very ungrounded over the course of this cycle. And again, everything that I'm bringing forward here is part of the growth journey of your evolution. So inherently, if you do feel ungrounded, not footed on ground, or not footed on hope or growth, or something that feels solid like the grass under your feet, then the growth edge inherently is to go with the flow, to be okay with not knowing, to be okay actually with feeling not grounded. So that's the growth edge, okay? Now this red pink blob wave motion, it's curved and it's kind of holding you, but again, it's not on grass either. It's not on anything. It's also ungrounded. And even here there's waves. If you can see that, let me look. Yeah, you can see them. There's waves in the red. So it's almost like there's stirred passions, energy. This could be sexual energy for some of you. This could be passions. There's vital energy flowing that's very much related to first chakra, which is all about survival. And so because you are not on grass, and because there's the survival blob that is wavy, so there's movement, there's action, it could very well be that for some of you, survival topics are coming up. Home, you know, where's your home? Where do I want to live? Etc. So you have stuff manifesting for you, but you might not feel grounded. You might feel like I have passions, I have vital energy here, and I have survival issues coming up as well. But I have to tell you, a lot of people are going through that. But it might be that for the Aries archetype, that actually is kind of a key aspect of your growth now, to actually find your own evolved human grounding into source, understanding that you are source, and that that is your grounding. Because it might be that material-wise, in 3D earth reality-wise, guess what? You might not feel so grounded. Now, for some of you, you are going to, you might feel planted at your home, with your job. But for some of you, even feeling, let's say, grounded in 3D reality, you might feel that the opposite is almost true for you. For most of you, I think ideas are coming to you. You're starting to access realities that are unlike yourself. It's like the new iteration of yourself is coming into being. Here, there's new creative deliciousness growing, and you feel ungrounded. I think that is the predominant story for a lot of you. But for some of you that are in a home and you feel well rooted and you aren't moving and you're paying your mortgage and work is, pretty stable, for those of you, then this is the call, and that's making you feel ungrounded. Meaning the creativity, the juice, what you're here to do, serve, be, your authenticism, your alignment, then that is the thing that's making you feel ungrounded. For some of you, the ungrounding is material-based. For others, it is, in fact, your desired work in the world. All right, so I'm going to select a card for you. This is the Carolyn Mace Archetype card deck. Something I've used for many years now because, and by the way, we just had one flip out. So this is it for you. Artist. Artist. Artist is to be evolved. During the course of this cycle, this is the prime growth edge. There are many growth edges that you're going to be going through this month. The prime one that's calling to be evolved for the Aries archetype is artist. Now, Aries, what wants to be evolved out of is using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, or posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Okay? So those of us that have been ungrounded and eliciting pity through the starving artist, that's to be evolved out of. What wants to be evolved into is expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Indeed, because it is. Life is a story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 kind of iterations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From the hand of this alien being, the alien self, the new self that's emerging, the great mysteries are arising. And I know that sounds a bit, overdone, but the fact is 7 is coming through here for you. And 7 does represent the mystical realities within natural processes, natural life systems. So it does represent the great mysteries. And indeed, the symbol is the symbol and the narrative, the story that lives within the consciousness field is part of the great mystery. Artist is having you access that. And it is coming. There's insight coming. There's ideas coming. And you are imbibing it. You're activated by it. And things are coming through you. But there's more penetration. This is the growth edge. To penetrate in. You are that. There is no outside of you. You are that. Very interesting, Aries. So for those of you interested in understanding more about my holosynthesis work, you can go to my website, which is thealchemyofholism.com. And I'm wishing you all much love and support for the month ahead, for your growth, for your freedom, for your expansion, for your clarity, for your joy, and for your creative expression. I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.